time to talk travel, and we have travel hacks coming at you thick and fast this morning. If you're thinking about escaping New Zealand winter for a European summer next year, now is the time to start planning. September is when airlines release their early bird fares for Europe for the year ahead, and the best deals do actually sell out fast. Thanks to our partners House of Travel. We've got some hacks so you don't miss out. Catherine Cole, Director of House of Travel Botany Junction with me. Good to see you, Katrina.
Hi, nice to see you again.
Yes, it is. All right, you got hacks for us. What's number one? Book early?
Book early. People sort of think that they'll wait for our summer to be over and get on the bandwagon next year, start thinking about travel next year, but now's the time to do it. The airlines have brought out all their deals now, and if you don't get in early, you might get the sort of your second or third choice. So you really need to be up with the play.
How much could you, if I'm booking now and getting these sales versus waiting until, January, February next year, would I be paying, 10, 20% more potentially?
Yeah, at least 10, 20% more. So it really just depends on your destination, what class you're wanting to travel. So Premier Economy has really come up the ranks in the last few years. It's a long way from New Zealand to France or, Scotland or something. So it's a long way. You really need to be thinking about your comfort. And a lot of people are going, actually, I'm just going to spend my money on myself, have a bit of comfort. Really enjoy the ride, because that is part of it. That's your first and your last sort of memory of your holiday. So,
and it sets up the holiday for you too, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and especially if you've got to come back and start work on the Monday.
Yeah. So pick your fare carefully, I suppose. Which class you're in, for want of a better term.
Which class you're in, and also which airline you fly on, and your or your routing. So some people like to have stops.
Well, if you're going to Europe, then presumably there'll be lots of that happening.
Yeah, there's lots of that. But there's also lots of different routings you can go. So either via Asia or the US or other points that you might want to go, and just have even a break, sort of break up your journey on the way up, especially if you go to economy class. It is a long way.
So the kind of mini break idea.
Yeah.
Do lots of people do that?
Lots of people do that.
And where are the most popular, or where would you recommend if I'm going to Europe next, where would you stop off? Where would you?
Well, a lot of people do tick off another bucket list. So New York's one of them. So there's direct flights into New York, and then it's, fairly easy to get across into Europe. Also Dubai, if you're really wanting something that's a little bit different. Singapore and Hong Kong are always the favourites because it's sort of halfway there. Psychologically, people are like, I'm halfway there.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a couple of days and then carry on.
Are there airlines that, I don't know whether they still do this, but where they say that we'll subsidise or the government even sometimes will subsidise your stay in a hotel, that kind of thing? Yeah,
they do, because there's some really interesting stopovers. If you're looking at, Qatar Airways, for example, in Doha, and a lot of people wouldn't just go to Doha to actually have a holiday. So you're ticking off Doha and Europe. And it's only 6, 7, 8 hours to get to your European destination. I think that's quite a cool idea. And also thinking about outside of that peak time, thinking outside of the June, July, August, when it's really hot, really, really busy, looking at going maybe April, May, sort of September, October, November, I think is a really good time to go, especially if you're in the south. Still gets hot in that sort of time.
And you don't come back burnt like a sausage.
No, you don't.
Value options for your more affordable airfares. Which airlines do you look at?
Well, there's a vast array, and it's actually it's actually about value more than just the cost, because some airlines don't even have baggage. So you do have to be a little bit careful. You're not going to Europe with just a cabin bag. Well, I'm certainly not, and I'm sure you're not. But you've got to just be a little bit careful about what the inclusions are for those low-cost carriers, and we help you through that. But there is some really good value, and we've got Singapore Airlines at the moment have got some really good deals out. Air New Zealand just brought out a sale through till the 22nd of September. So there's, some really good deals if you jump on now. They probably won't be around in a few weeks' time.
Katrina, finally this morning, your final hack for us is all about points. I've never really bothered with them because it's just sort of too hard basket for me.
Yeah,
probably
I hear
something
you.
My husband would do, probably does do, I have no idea. But that's important.
You got to factor it in, but I wouldn't hang your hat on it. A lot of people get really hooked up with the points, and then if you can't use them, what are they worth? Nothing. So you've got to be a little bit careful that you're actually choosing the airline that's best for you and what you want to do. Your stopovers, your destination, because some airlines have lots of destinations in Europe, some don't. So don't get too hooked up on them. And also some carriers sort of deal with other point schemes, and we can help you through that. But don't get so hooked up on them that you actually miss out on another deal.